We are back on the house site today. Just got done meeting with the builder and the homeowner on placement of the house. Trying not to just cover everything in ashes, so. But I want to try to get this pile moved because they're kind of scooted the house over. They shifted it. It'd be to my, I guess, the left or the west, and then back this way, kind of turned it. He's wanting to try now to save a couple trees, because we're going to reroute the driveway over there to go into the garage, because the garage and everything's on that end, and the house stretches all the way over to here. But now he's kind of moved it back and turned it where maybe they can keep those trees, and we can kind of curve the driveway around it. So most of my clay pad so far is not going to be where the house is sitting at, so that's kind of why I wanted to meet him and make sure they kind of had a pretty good idea where they wanted it. It's basically kind of the corner of that pad is going to be like the front of the house, and it's kind of going to run long ways this way, and it's got, make sure I don't hit the hydrant. It's kind of got a wall there, and then it kind of comes back in, and like right in that area is going to be like a pool, an outdoor kitchen and all that. And then I think the last part of the house will be like right over here. So that pole has got to get moved and stuff, but I just wanted him to look at it, so I didn't build a pad and like level it where it's at. I need to strip all this stuff right here down, get to something good and solid, and kind of cut this hump down. I'm just going to take all this soil, kind of push it to that side so we can kind of dress up and clean up around the pad. But so part of it, I got to get this junk out of the way. I can cut that down, and then some of it I'll go back probably on this corner, or maybe like half of it on an angle. I'll keep using the red clay, but then on the other half of it, I can take some of that junk over there it's not suitable to build on, but like building yard and shaping, we can do that. Instead of using the red clay, it'll have more organics and dirt and stuff in it to grow grass. So I can put that kind of on that outside of that pad on that area. So I'm going to try to just spend some time today shaping and running the dozer and just kind of moving this stuff around and flatten off an area. So I think the homeowner and his wife are going to come back over here, kind of walk around later this week and make sure that's exactly kind of where they're going to want the, you know, the front door, the back door, and all that stuff on the house. So yeah, I'm going to try to just get this mess cleaned up. I'll dump back in the borrow pit that I've been digging, and then we'll just bury it. And then, yeah, just spend some time in the dozer this afternoon, kind of stripping off all the organics and the topsoil and grass and junk, and push it to the other end, and then just kind of start cleaning up this site. So some of it may be where the machines are at. That probably needs to come down about a foot, and that may be about the top of the pad grade. So some of that may not even need to bring in any clay, because you get down like a foot or 18 inches, and you're in some pretty good rocky soil that we could probably build on. This stuff makes a mess. So trying to mix in a little bit of brick and junk with it, maybe kind of keep some of the dust and ash down a little bit, but not working too well. So yeah, all my trash and my junk that didn't burn, there's a lot more metal that I had on that fire than what I thought. So, but that hole that I got dug is like 20 feet deep, I don't know, 10 or 15 feet across. So we'll put a good portion of this stuff in there, and then put 6 or 8 feet of the other rock and junk back on there, and cover it up on that hillside. So this is going to be good on all the air filters right here. Oh yeah. So I tried to kind of park the Hydrema where maybe with the wind blowing, it would blow it away from the air filter, but I'm not sure if that's working or not. So Well, this morning we are shifting gears and going to work on putting some rock on the driveway and kind of trying to get some of these limbs and trees that are hanging over it kind of out of the way for the dump trucks, concrete trucks, lumber trucks, basically all the bigger trucks and traffic that we're going to be having come through here. So I already had 2 loads. Brian brought 2 loads of rock and I'm getting 2 more. I was going to try to have them tailgate some of it, but the road's pretty narrow and there's all these limbs that are just hanging down. So I always hate having those guys have to drag some of this stuff on their trucks. So I would much rather go and thin a little bit of this out, and then I'll probably just put it in the hydrema and then bring it down here. Because I had a dump up here, come on, like where I tore that house down and got that lot cleaned up. So partially because I didn't get here early enough, because every time I call Brian and it's first thing in the morning, it's like 6:45, 7 o'clock when they're which is good, but I'm never on time. So I just felt like this would be the easiest thing. Like I said, it's just, I think with the beds up, because it was all tri-axle trucks with 16, 17 foot beds, so they were just going to tear up more limbs than anything. But I'm not going to take a whole lot out. The homeowner likes to keep it kind of secluded. But I basically just want to kind of thin the edges back. Like I said, the concrete trucks, the lumber trucks, all the traffic we're going to have up here, the driveway needs to be in a little better shape. And he plans on blacktopping all this anyway, so it'd be a good idea to go ahead and start getting some rock on there, rolling it in, and then letting all the construction traffic just kind of pack it down even more through the construction process. It'll be, I'd say, at least a year or 18 months before this house is actually done, so that'll be a lot of time for the driveway to kind of pack in and harden up and stuff. So, and there's no point using a pole saw when you have an excavator, so we'll just yank this stuff down and throw it on the fire.